Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Badash, double honor to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation, you Akim, I push this word in truth and in sincerity. Situation is getting dire and dire, man. Everybody that's doing their own thing, no one is considering that we're approaching the end of Esau's rulership. No one is considering that things could break out at any given time. Martial law. Do you see what's going on across the world? Now the main focus is not on Ukraine and Russia, even though Joe Biden is threatening to put American troops against Russian troops if they don't pass that $68 billion package that he's trying to send to Ukraine. But now the focus is on what's going on with Israeli gutter rats and Hamas out there on the Gaza Strip. And it's a bunch of genocide being taking place out there. And you don't hear on the mainstream media how all these people, all these different nations, the neighboring nations like Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, they refuse to take Palestinian refugees because of the fact that it's going to affect them. So everybody's calling for a ceasefire. They had like an 8-day ceasefire during the time of the Thanksgiving pagan holiday. But then they went right back to bombing and destroying and committing genocide. Talking about the Israeli government. Bibi Netanyahu at the head of it. Being backed by America. And all these different nations are seeing the atrocities that America is allowing these gutter rats to commit. Also, where they're getting the weaponry from. The F-16s, the parts that go with that, the weaponry, the artillery, the bombs. Where they getting it from? They're getting it from America. And these nations know that. So these nations are pissed off at that, but we're not really getting the true understanding of what's going on because they're not broadcasting it on mainstream media. You have to go to alternative news media sites to get what's really going on. And that's the thing. No one is paying attention. Because when people start to pay attention to what's going on, what they do is create a false flag and have you focus your attention on that false flag or create a disturbance. If it's not a false flag, it's something dealing with the economy. Have you focus your attention on that instead of what's going on behind the scenes, the real deal of what these gutter rats are doing. No one is measuring the times. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the times diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we see that happening right now. The Lord is visiting the world which he made with these tornadoes, these earthquakes in diverse places, uproars of the people. It's going to mention all of that. And we're in that time. If you can't see what's going on, then you just totally blind to the fact of reality. You are totally blind to what's going on in this society. Let me just change this real quick. Take it off that. Salakia. You totally blind what's going on. Totally blind. But let's continue. It says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, we see that. It's uproars of the people dealing with this situation, this protest and uproars of the people dealing with the situation that's going on in the Gaza Strip. With genocide, 18,000 dead. Probably more. We don't know. They're not giving an exact number, but when you go on alternative news media outlets, it gives you a percentage of what's going on out there. But you're not going to receive that on social media. Right now, everybody's focus is on these pagan holidays. Shopping and exchanging gifts and going out to buy food. Which is nothing wrong with buying food, but they buying food to celebrate these pagan holidays. You know? They're not paying attention. And that's why they're going to be taken. It says, It says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an ending, and an end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginning and wonders and powerful works and ending and effects and signs. And we see it. We see everything that has been prophesied coming to pass, man. And what's happening is the Lord is preparing this great altar for that, which is America, for that great sacrifice. And the sacrifice is all you people that's in the land of America. The only ones that's going to escape this great slaughter, this sacrifice that the Lord is preparing, is his elect. When Yahweh shall crack them skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance. The rest of you people are going to be taken. And in that great number. 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 1, on down. It's easy to understand what's going on. You focus on this truth and focus on what's going on around the world. And put away childish and foolish things. Like exchanging gifts on Christmas. A pagan festival where it's have nothing to do with Yahweh by Yahweh Shah. That's another deity. That's another God you're worshiping. You're worshiping white man Jesus. Which goes back to Semiramis and Tammuz. It says, back in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works and ending in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works. By what works? Going out on the highways and the byways, doing that which is right in the eyes of the Most High, putting up videos week in and week out, throughout the week, going on highways and the byways week in and week out, every weekend, putting up videos week in, throughout the week, observing the high holy days, and doing that which is right in the eyes of the Most High. It says, and everyone that shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, says, shall be preserved from the set perils. It says, which is like, and by faith, there whereby he have believed, shall be preserved from the perils, and shall see my salvation, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Yeah, because the elect was with Yahweh Shai in the foundation of the earth. They was the chosen, the elect, the first fruits that's fit to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. It says, verse 9, then shall they be in a pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. The 2/3 that refuse to get right, men that knew that they're Israelites, but to use the word of the Most High deceitfully, they're going to dwell in torments. They're going to dwell in torments. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments, for such as in their life have received benefits. And that's a lot of these women. Jake too, the men of our nation too, but this is really going into how these women have received benefits from the government, Section 8, child support, WIC, with how these women get down. It says, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. And they that have lost my law, while there was yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. You see, all these, there's no excuse. You got all these videos on Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, old videos of the apostles on Daily Motion. You have videos on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. So if you ran across a Great Millstone video or IUIC video or ISUPK video and you started scoffing and scorning, that's your ass. If you was a part of any one of them camps that I've mentioned and you just went back into the world, that's your ass. It says, verse 12, the same must know it after death by pain. And that's what's coming. Death and pain. Death, pain, and sorrows. Famine. Desolation. Wasteness. That's what's coming. And it's all going to get the wicked. Started with Esau, Edom, and the rest of the nations. And the 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that wickedly follow these devils. 2nd Ezra 8:50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Esau is proud as hell, but you got 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You're proud as hell too. And for what? You still in captivity. You got a few FRNs because you sold out. You sold your soul. So you got a few FRNs and you living comfortable, so that makes you proud. But you're going to pay. That's like Esau's going to pay. You're not going to escape the judgments. You're still under the curses. You're just living comfortably right now. So the misery is going to hit your ass too. Let's read it again so it can sink in. 2nd Ezra 8:50. And it reads, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like unto thee. That's why I don't deal with anybody that's in the world. My cousins, old friends that I don't part of ways with, because we're on separate paths. I don't deal with them. If I run into them, I give them a shake, I give them a handshake, and we'll chop it up for a few seconds. Because after that, I'm gone. Because once you hear a man's conversation, that tell you the kind of man he is. So I chop it up with them for, sometimes it be like 2-3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. After that, the folly comes out of their mouth. Then you pop ways with them. All right, man. Good to see you. You know, hope to see you again. Line your ass off to them, and you just part ways. Because you don't want to see that demon no more. You know? So you seek out the glory such as be like unto thee. So my main focus and my main conversations with brothers of like mind in this truth. Very rarely do I talk to anybody outside of this truth other than work. And that's only 8 hours of the day. After that, I have no dealings with them. You know? So, yeah, shit is getting real hectic out here, you know? And people are not paying attention to what's going on. They too caught up in their own folly, in their own madness, which is going to cost them dearly. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Sedition means an uproar, an uprising against a monarch or a government. In this case, it's going to be an uproar against the government of America. And all hell is going to break loose. It's something called predictive programming. It's a movie coming out 2024, April, called Civil War. And it's talking about one of the soldiers was like, one of the guys said, I'm American like you are. He said, yeah, but what kind of American are you? So that means it's going to be 2 different kind of Americans that they're talking about. Shit is only going to get worse, man. Shit is only going to get worse. Who knows what the Lord has in store for 2024? But I'm hoping it's death and destruction. I'm hoping the Lord will get us out of here, man. I'm hoping they they enforced that offered the microchip was the C-hip. I'm hoping that war escalates and we get the hell out of this bitch ass place, man, that we living in, man. So it reads, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and uproar, whether uprising against a monarch or a government, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to regard the mayor, the governor. They're not going to regard the United States president, whoever be in charge at that time in the Oval Office. They ain't going to regard any of that thing, any of them things, man. They're going to do what they got to do to survive. It says, for there shall be, right, I read this, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. That's martial law. All hell breaking loose. A man having no pity upon his neighbor, that's his next door neighbor. What are you going to do? Take their goods. Destroy their house with the sword. Modern day gun, ball and chain, bat, brass knuckles, knives, machetes. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Martial law. Desiring to go into another city, you can't, because the cities is going to be carted off by tanks, Humvees, and military personnel asking for papers. And you better have a legitimate reason why you out there trying to cross over to another state or to another borough. Or they're going to lock your ass up in them concentration camps. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their homes with the sword, the house with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's what's coming. Great tribulation. So continue being your folly. Continue to ignore the signs that the society is coming to an end. Continue to ignore the fact that the prophets are out there warning you. Continue to scoff and scorn. Continue to be in your folly, because what's going to happen is you're going to regret everything that you are doing, because when shit hit the fan, you're going to seek for answers. There's going to be no answers. When shit hit the fan, you're going to be looking for the prophets out there of the Lord, but you ain't going to see no prophet out there of the Lord. Then you're going to be fending for yourselves. It's swim or drown. And most of you people are going to drown. Swim or drown. Most of you are going to perish. This is something to consider. Consider this. The empire of Esau is circling the drain, the economy, the morale, the infrastructure, everything is circling the drain. So why trying to keep propping this man up? Jake is bugged out, man. Jake, look at it this. The truth is, look at it this way. If Esau can't be saved, I don't want to be a part of that. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. When you begin to love your master, your oppressor. And it's crazy, man. And you see that Stockholm Syndrome mentality out there with all these Christians, these wacky-tacky Christians, and 2/3 of these Jakes that can't get it, that can't get right. The same must know it after death by pain. Shalom. Things to consider.